Right, I think it's 1970, 71. CB750 K0. Early one. Not one of the earliest. The first 7,000 were what they call sandcast.
Okay.
Which is different casings. They're like rougher. They're worth a lot of money. You know, they were like 30, 40 grand. I don't think they are now, but they were expensive. So the customer has just been sitting for 3 years. I think he said 3 years. So obviously tank out, clean out, carbs cleaned out, carbs weren't bolted on properly, front brake master cylinder was leaking, had all like gunge.
Okay.
It just it's like crystallises brake fluid, it accepts water.
Okay.
And it's sort of all crystallised all around here. So cleaned all that up, bled the brake through, that's all nice. So basically he wants to sell it, so he just wants to make sure it's running okay and it's safe. Usual drive chain rattle on one of these, which you can quieten down sometimes, but 9 times out of 10 with the age of them there's not a lot you can do. I don't know how many miles it's done. Not uncommon for a bike of this age, you know. Let's get new carb rubbers, which is usual for sealing the bases on, yeah. New tubes on the drains. Checked all the floats out for float height. Cleaned all the jets out. Blown it all through with the air lines. Set the float heights, like I say. So they're a little bit pissed, but we'll check them all. What you do is boil up a cup of water,
yeah,
and just drop the floats in them.
Okay.
And you can see if they're getting any ingress, then little air bubbles come out.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
So none of them have got ingress, which is good. Bought new carb rubbers, which are an absolute load of shit. So reverted back to the originals, which are okay. Got it running, and it ran reasonably, you know, quite well for one of these. But these are fuel drains, yeah. So each bowl that sits on there with the rubber in, it's just clipped on with that.
Yeah.
But one of them was weeping, which is either the float height wrong, which it shouldn't have been, or the float snagging, which it shouldn't have been. This bleed valve, the needle valve in there on some of these, so that's your needle in there, yeah. So that little tip is spring loaded.
Yeah.
They're original needles, because the modern ones have got what they call Viton tipped, but the modern fuel eats the Viton, whatever it's called.
Okay.
It's supposed to be ethanol resistant, but 9 times out of 10 they're not. They're just shit. They're just made out of rubber. Sometimes these seats can come loose, so you have to make sure that they're just nipped up, which is just a 10mm spanner. You don't want to do it with a spanner, that's not good. I'll do it with one of them, because if you put that spanner on there and you slip, it's going to break off one of these tangs.
Oh, okay.
Which hold the float in, and then you are in a world of shit.
Yeah.
So you just got to make sure they're nipped up, nice and tight. Just go through them so they can bypass fuel. Stupid fingers. Again, like we said on that other carb rebuild video, don't do anything over tight on any of these. Okay, so that's them. Let's get an 8mm socket. So you've got primary jets, which are the smaller ones, yeah?
Yeah.
And your main jet, which is the bigger ones. But the inside, the main jet will unscrew from there. Up in there, look, that's called your venturi. So all these little tiny holes will got to be cleaned out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just pass your little wire brush through them or whatever. They've all got to be cleaned out. So it's for progressive fueling as such, yeah. So they've all been cleaned out, primary jets have all been cleaned out. As I say, don't over tighten anything.
So it's just hand tight.
Yeah, because that one you can see starting to go. Remember I said the monkey metal, the Mazak?
Yeah.
It can start deforming as such. So if you look at those, so that's starting to go, that carburetor as such.
Okay.
But all in all, she's not bad. So again, just check everything's done up nice. Don't want to over tighten anything. Nice. 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 So one of the overflows was dribbling out. If your fuel level gets so high, it'll go down there. That's your overflow, yeah?
Yeah.
But you've also got a drain there if you want to drain the bowls out. So basically that's it for the construction. The only base setup you can do is you can eyeball it, looking down the carb throats, whichever way it goes, that way. So you can put, say if you get a little, just going to get a little bit of weld, or put one of them in there, that'll do it. No, it won't. Right, let me just go and get a little bit of welding rod. So you can open your throttle up slightly. You can actually do it on the idle, it won't make any difference. So if you shut that down, so your rod's loose. You just pass that rod through, yeah? That one you can't, that one you can't, that one you can't, so let's open it up. And they're all good. So that'll go. Yeah, they're not too bad. So just as a base guideline, yeah? All your throttles are open about the thickness of that wire, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's an ideal scenario, which you can adjust later by these early carbs. They're individually set by those adjusting screws there. So you've got a lock nut on the top and then an adjuster. I think they're 17mm, I can't remember. But that adjusts your float height, not float, your slide height, up and down very, 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 very small amounts. So you can set them ballpark to start with, and if the bike runs, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because you can get into a world of shit with them.
Yeah.
See, the later ones, you balanced that carb to that carb,
Yeah.
that carb to that carb, and you had an adjuster screw in the middle which balanced the two halves together.
Yeah.
These early ones didn't have them, you have to do all four individually. Which is a ball egg. Yeah, those pins that hold them all together, they're just setting there loose, yeah, and no crimping on them or no, because once the bowl is on, they can't come out. Just a pin sits in between there and there. So that is it basically. Put your rubbers back on, snap them back on, put all the carbs back on, put the throttle cables back on, tighten everything down and give it another run. I'd say he's had the paintwork done at some stage, because it's very nice paintwork on the tank and everything, you know. It's a nice colour, like a candy apple red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure she's running alright. Like I say, it was overfilled with oil, so when we started it up you got an overflow, and boy oh boy did it overflow. That bolt there, you undo that lock nut, undo that, it's your cam chain adjuster.
Okay.
The big chain in the bottom, because in the middle of the crank it's got a big multi-web chain, like that wide. It drives the gearbox side of it from the bottom of the crankshaft. They're prone to wearing on these. It's quite a common thing.
Yeah.
But you can't do anything with them unless you strip the whole bike out, the whole engine down. So you can just check that if you hear it snap. Undo your lock nut, undo your pinch nut, and I didn't hear anything snap back. So you can just wind that just a couple of turns. That'll be enough, and that'll just tension that chain up. So lock up your pinch bolt. See, they're spring loaded. You can buy aftermarket ones that just have a nut and bolt in the end, and you can just tension your chain up with them, but you can over tighten the chain. You don't want it over tight because it'll just wear it out. The other thing they suffer from is noisy clutch rattle. Again, you can put new bearings in them. You can do, unless you get a new basket and all new clutch parts, you won't shut it up. It's just what they are. Still got all the little stickers on it and bits and pieces. Should be one there that's missing. Still got the swinging arm one on it. Well, that's for the exhaust system actually. I'd say these have been replaced. I don't think they're originals. Should have HM300 or something written on them if they're originals, which I can't see, but they're expensive to buy now. Well over £1,000 for those exhausts. God. But all in all, she's nice and oil tight. Yeah, good bike.